Hey there, my name is Barry Rager. I run a YouTube channel called Rage Fishing. I live in Oregon. Most of the species I fish for here in Oregon: steelhead, bass, surf perch, trout. And recently I was thinking I'd like to make a video about getting back to the basics. Fishing for steelhead, fishing for bass, some of these other species are a little bit more complicated at times. And I thought, what got me into fishing? Well, it was fishing for trout here on the McKenzie River. This spot right here, I actually started fishing when I was just a little kid. I was probably like 10 years old. I used to love coming to this spot. Pretty much anywhere along the McKenzie River, they plant it heavily with stock trout, and you got a 5-fish limit. Season generally starts around the end of April. So I'm here in May. It's been raining today, but I'm gonna show you just some simple techniques how to catch fish. So what I'm using is a Loomis 6.5 foot rod. It's a light action. You don't have to spend this kind of money. When I started out, I was probably using like a $20 fishing rod, and it worked just fine. I've got a 1000 series Shimano reel here, Trout XL 4-pound test. And what's worked so far for me today, I got fishing while it was raining because I knew I couldn't film, is an 1/8 ounce green rooster tail. I've caught probably hundreds of trout with this lure right here. Not this one, but one just like it. So you'll see some of the footage just right after we're done talking. But I also want to talk to you about another technique that's a real simple way that you can get to trout fishing. It doesn't cost a lot of money. It's really easy to rig. You don't need fancy braided line or sliding sinkers, things like that. All you need is a hook, a weight, and some sort of bait. Make sure that where you're fishing, bait is allowed. This section of the McKenzie River, it is allowed. There are sections of the McKenzie that are restricted to flies and lures only. So let me grab my other stuff and I'll be right back with you. So I'm starting with the Gamakatsu bait holders. These are size 6s. I've got my bait holder. I've got my line through the eye of that hook. Hold the hook and the main line. Take this tag in, wrap it 5 or 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do 5. Now see this loop where the eye is? You want to go through that eye. Now to make it just a little bit stronger, you see this bigger loop? Go back through that loop. And if you can, try to hold tension on the other line. I always wet my knot. And the reason being is it makes your knot just a little bit stronger. When you try to pull that tight when it's dry, it actually weakens your line because it creates friction. So just cinch that down and it'll look just like that. I'm gonna trim off the tag end. And don't just throw the tag in on the ground. Just put it in a pocket or in your fishing bag. So now what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be drifting bait. So you can see here, I want to have probably about 16 to 18 inches of line from the hook to my weight. So I'm going to take this split shot. So again, these are Eagle Claw number 7 split shot. Just like that. You put it on there. Take a pair of pliers and just lightly cinch that together. You see that? I've got probably about 16 inches right there from my hook to my weight. And the reason being is when that's floating through the water, that weight's gonna be kind of bouncing around or pulling that weight down to where the fish are. And this is gonna be up a little bit higher in the holding water. Take your pot skis. These are just green label pot skis. I usually put about 3 of these on there. And these bait holders have these little barbs that help hold that on there. Now what you'll find is you're going to have to replace those frequently. Either the fish are going to steal them from you, or they're just going to fall off when you're casting. So let's get to fishing. I'm going to switch to my other camera so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So let's get to fishing. The flow of the river is going from left to right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast about a 45-degree angle upstream, and then I'm going to let that float down right in front of me. You can see what happens is there's kind of a backwater right here, and those trout kind of hang out there. So I'm going to cast, and then I'm going to tighten up that line just so I can feel a bite. Try to keep your rod tip at about eye level so you can see it. You want to keep your line tight so that if you get a bite, you can feel it. Plus, you don't want it getting stuck on the bottom, so you want to keep just a little bit of tension with your rod tip. And fish on. These are feisty little boogers today. Whoa! We have a jumper. Wow, this thing's fighting pretty good. So let's take a look at this little fella. So here's the story. I want to catch a bunch of fish today, so I'm going to let this little guy go because he's hooked really easily. And a fish fumble. One suggestion I have for you is with these spinning reels, don't use the handle of the reel to break it over. Actually put your bail back over by hand. Oh man, that thing hit it hard. That is an aggressive little fish. Let's make number, oh, he came off. And that's okay. It happens. Oh, there we go. Oh man, that's a good fighter. That's why I love using these little light action spinning rods. Come here, fella. Oh, he's a feisty little booger. Come here, man. Now, it looks like this one swallowed it. So we're going to keep this one. What a beautiful fish. Take the stringer, put it up here through the gills. And just like that. So I'm going to take a little rock. I know this seems gruesome, but I don't want him to suffer. No. Felt the bite. There we go. Fish on. Wow, that's a fighter. Oh, saw my eggs fall off. Oh, and he's off. That makes for an easy release. This may seem elementary, but I know that there's people that are just getting started. So with the spinning reel, what I do is I hold onto the line, hold onto the line like this. While holding the line, flip your bail over, put it under your finger like this. You don't want it too much because it makes it harder to cast. So just kind of have it to where the tension of that weight is on your finger, so that when you swing your rod tip out, you just let go. And that allows the line to come off your spool. And again, flip your bail over, by hand. Don't use the reel handle. That keeps the line tight on the spool. You have less line twist issues. Adding weight does two things. It gets your bait down into the strike zone, and it also allows you to cast. So there's another fish. Oh, I missed it. I missed it. Nope, I didn't miss it. It was just swimming towards the bank. And looks like we're having another keeper here. This is a 1/8 ounce rooster tail. I believe the color is listed as frog, but it's green with the brass blade, and it's got a little bit of yellow and green hackle in the tail. Let that kind of sink down a little bit. Oh, there we go. Didn't take too long. It's a feisty little devil. Here's the deal. Mrs. Rager wants some trout for a dish she's gonna cook tomorrow night, but I'm gonna release any of these that are real easy to let go because I'm hoping to catch a bunch of them today. So let's see what we got here. Come here, little fella. Yeah, I think I can let that one go. I'm just gonna... And he's off. Okay. I'm just keeping tension on it so that blade spins. But I don't want it spinning too hot, too much. Oh, there we go. There goes another one. Man, these things are feisty. Dang. You forget how much fun trout fishing is. Let's see if this little booger just falls off here. If I don't have to handle him, I don't want to. I'm gonna move over where I can get closer to him. Man, that's a pretty good fish. Come here, fella. That's a beautiful fish. Come here, buddy. I don't know if this is valid or not. Long ago I was told if you hang a fish upside down, it calms them down just a little bit. I don't know if that's true or not. God, look at that. Just a beautiful trout. Look at this thing. Just beautiful little thing. Rainbow trout. Let's get him back in the water. There you go, buddy. And he's off. Awesome. So this is another lure that's just deadly on trout in the McKenzie River. So this is a Thomas Buoyant. It's a spoon. This is copper in color. It's a 1/6 ounce. So what I did is I cast it at about a 45-degree angle upstream. And that allows that spoon to kind of fall down into the water column a little bit down where the fish are. Now that it's kind of passed by me here, I'm going to tighten that up and I'm going to let that just flutter with the current. You don't want your line to go limp. I'm going to let out a little bit of line to kind of get it down in the zone a little bit. Now it's swinging towards the bank, and I'm just going to twitch it every once in a while. Oh, man! Fish hit hard. It's a good fish. Wow. Wow, that fish hit that hard. It's swimming right at me right now. It's a nice fish. It's a good sized fish. Now let's see if we can get this one set free. If not, it's coming home with me. I think it's coming home with me. Kind of got it pretty good. So that's number 3. Alright, let that fall down into that water column a little bit. Now just kind of give it a little tension. Oh, I had a tap. Oh, there we go. It's another fish. Wow, these fish are fighting hard today. It's a feisty little guy. Whoa. Oh, and right off. Makes it easy. And we got a good Oregon rain going on right now. Come on, I need one more fish to take home. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's a good fish. Oh my goodness. It's a fighter. Oh man. Yeah, that's a good fish. So there's my number 4. Now I can go home. Get out of the rain. What a good looking trout. Look at that. Perfect. I'm seeking a little bit of refuge under a tree, but there's not much that's gonna save me from this rain. But what I need to do is I need to clean these trout real quick. So what you do, you got the anal area right there. Just cut right up in here. Just start right there. Just cut right up into their gills. Take all of their innards. So I'll do a more thorough job once I get home. But I gotta get these things cleaned out and get my truck before I'm absolutely soaked to death. Woo! It is pouring. If you like the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell. I'll be releasing a new fishing video every Friday at 6 p.m. Comment below what you think. If there's anything that you'd like to see in the future, I'd be happy to see it, and I'll get back to every one of you. Also, hit the like button if I did well. And I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. Just as the rains come. Hey there. My name's... Start over. The trout fumbled. And don't get your line hung up in the trees. Oh, Barry.